Hey everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter. You are joining me July 10th for project number 2 in the Celebratory Sips card class at home. I'm very excited about the next few designs in this class. I'm 99.99% sure that you guys are going to love them too. So I've been looking forward to this all day because this is just going to get funner. Is that a word? A grade 3 kid told me once that funner is not a word, and I'm not feeling very smart. Anyway, each project will be more fun than the preceding project. That's what I'm anticipating, and that was my total plan with this class. So whether or not funner is a word or not, these cards are going to be fun, and they're just going to keep getting better, in my opinion. Hello, Carissa. Hi, Marion. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. All right, so I will be using the Cheers and Sips stamp set tonight. I'm just raising up my camera just a scooch, just a smidge. And I will be also using the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper, the ribbon that comes in the suite, which is the gold trim mesh, and the holographic resin dots that come in the suite, which I've really attacked my package. They're getting a little low, but that's okay. All right, so let's get going. This card should not take too long to put together, but there's lots of things happening. So we've got our A2 card base in Blackberry Bliss, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4.25 on the inside. If you are brand new to card making and you don't know how to make a A2 card base, then please reach out, send me a comment or a personal message and let me know, because I have a handy video that I can share with you. Hello, Hillary. I'm glad you're looking forward to this project too, because I've been looking forward to sharing it. Kate, you got your stuff. Hello, Debbie. You're ready. All right. So we've got our card base. There's a lot. There's so many little pieces. All right, for the inside, so of course this could be optional. This is a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5.25. I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper, which is, hang on, I wrote my measurements down, 2 by 5.25, and another piece of basic white that is 1.75 by 5.25. Another piece of basic white that's 3/4 by 5.25. 2 strips of Blackberry Bliss cardstock that are 1/2 inch by 5.25. A tiny little piece of basic white for the sentiment, which is 3/8 by 1.75, and then just a little rectangle scrap for stamping. Janice, you got your stuff too. That's awesome. I hope you get your card kit soon because they are in the mail. All right, now I went ahead and I fussy cut out a bunch of the tiny little drinks from this Designer Series paper, not the strip that I cut for the card, but extra. And I think that this pattern might be my favorite because it's fun and it's full of these fun looking drinks that just tell me it's summertime. Oh, and I've also got some of the holographic resin dots. Hello, Annette from Ontario. Thanks for tuning in. Robin, did I say hi to you? My brain has already forgot if I did. I hope your order has come because mine finally arrived today, but I might have ordered a day ahead of you. Anyway, it finally came today, which was exciting. All right, so for the front of our card base, what we're going to do first is glue down our patterned paper to the card front, and you're going to glue it down close to the score line. So use your strip of 3/4 inch by 5.25 to kind of give you an idea of where you're going to place that patterned paper. Because spoiler alert, this piece is going to go on the left side of the card. So I know that I'm going to put my card, I'm just going to measure it for those of you who like preciseness. I am putting my card 3/4 of an inch from the fold line card. I'm putting the pattern paper 3/4 of an inch from the fold line of your card base. Oh, good, Robin. I'm glad yours came today too. I had a couple packages come today because I don't order a lot from Amazon because we live out in the sticks and oftentimes they drop off my package at somebody's house and I don't know where it is and I don't like to hunt it down, but I did order some stuff and I got it today. I'll tell you about it later, but I'm really excited about it. Right, I have issues. That's why I'm so excited about my Amazon order. I've got issues at work and this is going to solve some big problems. And also, I have an add to cart addiction, so there's that too. I always feel better when I buy myself things. All right, now take your 3/4 inch strip, and what we're going to do is adhere the Blackberry Bliss to the strip, but we just want it to peek out. Now, 1/2 inch is pretty generous, but you do want a little bit of cardstock to work with. So I am going to layer it so I have about, I don't know, just a little bit of that Blackberry Bliss peeking through. So what I'm going to do is add just where are my glasses? Hang on. Aging, right? Reading glasses is a new thing. Hey, Susan, how's it going? I'm just going to add a thin little bead of my liquid glue along the edge of that 3/4 by 5 1/4 basic white. And then, oops, I'm going to add my Blackberry Bliss behind my basic white. So I have a little piece of that that's sticking out like so. And you're going to want to try to get it even. If you're using Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue like I am, then you're going to have a little bit of time to adjust your paper if you don't have it perfectly aligned or perfectly even, right? Hey, Jackie. Hey, Leanne, my American buddy. I'm glad to see you. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing with the 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 piece of white. Just add a very thin bead of glue along one edge. It doesn't really matter which edge, unless you're like me and you've got some dirty white paper, which I didn't notice, but oh well, I'm going with it. I've got some pre-smudges on this paper. I didn't even have to smudge it myself. I don't know what I did there. I bet I dropped it on the floor and stepped on it and then put it in my paper pile and never thought about it. Anyways, that's fine. So if you can tell, there's a little bit of smudges, but you know, that's just me and the way I roll. All right, so now what we're going to do is pop these pieces up on the left and the right side of the card. So if you have some double-sided foam adhesive stickers or dimensionals, then you're just going to want to add some dimensionals down the edges of these layers. And in typical Kate fashion, I am going to use probably way more dimensionals than I need. Yeah, Janice, pre-smudges. This is where we're going now, right? With my war on smudges. I don't even have to smudge it. It's just going to come pre-smudged. So I really want to make myself a t-shirt, but what I lack is time. That's what I discovered on the weekend. I have lots of great ideas for all the things I want to do, but what I don't have is enough time. So that's a bummer. All right, now I rushed putting that down and it's just a little bit off. So I'm going to pull it up and just grab my take your pick. If you have a take your pick, then you will have a little paddle attachment and it's kind of a lifesaver. I didn't do this on purpose. I just was too busy talking and then I didn't put this down perfectly straight. So paddle attachment, you can pull off your paper if you don't have it perfectly aligned. And I'm going to try this one more time to try to get it aligned nicely. And it's possible, oops, that I just maybe don't have my paper cut exactly. Nope, it was me in my alignment. So there we go. I've got, oops, I don't like that. I just want to move it over just a smidge on the edge. So yeah, the take your pick paddle is super handy. All right, Teresa, you love the smudges. Well, I'm glad you do because I'm a smudger. It's my nature, clearly. All right, Carissa, no stabbing action. Well, maybe if I remember, right? It's not that I don't want to stab my little dimensional backings off. It's that my brain barely works these days. But I'm taking some time off work. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I'm going to add more dimensionals than I probably need, because why wouldn't I, right? And then just because Krista reminded me, I'm going to do a little stabbing action and pull the backings of these dimensionals off with my Take Your Pick tool. And then we're going to line this up. So you want I forgot to mention this before, but you do want that strip of eggplant to be facing in towards that designer series paper, not the edge or the fold of your card. All right, I'm going to stand up for this and try to align this better. Let's see. The dimensionals are a little less forgiving than Tombow glue, but if you've got that little paddle attachment, you can fix it, usually. Do I have it? Not quite. So while I think this is a relatively easy design, alignment is not my strength. So I hope you guys fare a little bit better than I do. All right, yeah. Smidges to go with smudges. Leanne, I am the queen of smudges. Did I say that already? And Teresa, you're right. Total embellishment opportunity. Okay, so now our card front is looking like this. And what we're going to want to do is a little bit of stamping, which I will strategically place to cover up my pre-smudges because, you know, opportunities, like Teresa said. Opportunities, so I've got my Blackberry Bliss ink and Sentiments from the Cheers and Sips stamp set. I'm just going to stamp Cheers on that little scrap of basic white. And then on this tiny little skinny piece, I've got the sentiment that says, let's celebrate. And it is tiny, friends. This is just super tiny. All right, I'm going to try to get that right in the middle. And I smudged it. Let's try again. I'm going to flip it over. You know, you can always flip things over. That's handy, right? It's just paper. I was probably wiggling too much. Pro tip, when you stamp with even pressure. Don't do like I did and wiggle it, all right? That's not the way to do it. Don't be like me, because then, you know, you're going to get smudges. There's no need to wiggle our stamps. All right. Now for the cheers, you can leave it depending on what size of paper you stamped on. You can certainly leave it, or you can fussy cut it out and just follow the curves of your letter. And I mentioned this, I think it was the last video where I was doing a fussy cut. I can't remember. It's my brain, like I said. But fussy cutting is a lot easier if you move the paper instead of your scissors. So obviously I'm moving my scissors because I'm closing the blades and then opening them when I need them open. But most of the movement is coming from me manipulating that paper and twisting it as I'm closing down on the blades, and that just is going to help you fussy cut things a little more smoothly. And also, obviously, practice makes perfect, right? All right, Janice, you find the small images to be very difficult to stamp clearly. You're right. I'm going to agree with you, especially if you rock like I just did. Okay, so sentiment. I'm going to pop it up. If you have dimensionals, it would be really handy for some of these small little pieces. How can I not have mini? Oh, I do. Of course I do. So you'd think after, I've been doing live streams. This is how I get smudges. I got Blackberry ink on my finger. You think that after doing all these live streams twice a week that I would be a pro and have things ready to go and know where my take your pick tool is or where my dimensionals are, but I don't. I don't. I blame my full-time job. It's really getting in the way of my crafting. All right, Kathy says smudges are good because it shows it has been made with love. Kathy, I like you. I like your mindset. All right, I am going to just offset my sentiment so it's going upwards. You don't have to do that if that's not your thing. I don't normally do that, but I need to cover up my smudge. And I must have smudged on my sample card because I've got these sentiments staggered as well. I'm trimming my sentiment just a tiny bit, and I'm going to throw that right underneath the cheers. And then we're going to move on to the fun part of this card. Robin says Blackberry Bliss bleeds a lot, and I am in good company with smudges. You're right. Blackberry Bliss does bleed a lot. I like to give my stamped sentiments a second to dry before I muss around with them, if it's Blackberry Bliss, and anything red, typically. All right, I'm just going to throw this down right underneath the cheers, and now the card is looking like this. Carissa, because I'm real and not a machine. Girl, you're right. I am no machine. Like, I need energy drinks and things to get through the day. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add, by energy drinks, I clearly mean coffee, because I think if I had a Red Bull, I'd probably, well, I'm afraid I'd like them too much, and then I'd be addicted to Red Bull, and I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. So I've cut out quite a few images because I don't exactly know what I'm going to do, but I know that I probably want about 3 glasses, or maybe 2 glasses and this bottle, which clearly must be gin, right? It looks like a gin bottle. All right, and I'm going to glue those down right onto this card front here. Now, if you wanted to litter this card full of bottles, then perhaps you don't want to glue your layers down until you get all your bottles down, in case you had something maybe hanging over the edge and you want to trim it, right? So just something to be aware of if you are adding a whole bunch of things to your card front. All right, what do I want to do here? Maybe I'm going to put a shorter drink. Actually, no, I'm going to put a taller drink on the right edge, and then I'm going to put a shorter drink right in the middle. I really love these tiny little drinks and bottles. They just scream summer to me. All right, now I'm just, you know what I want? I do want my glass on the edge, so I'm just going to trim that little lemon slice after the fact. So speaking of trimming, Jennifer says this card is taking shape. It's so pretty. Well, thank you, Jennifer. This is one of my favorites, but they're all going to be my favorite by the time we get through the Celebratory Sips class series. I forgot what I was saying now. Wow. I do have a whiskey glass, yes. Oh, whoops. Oh, yes. Now I remember what I was going to say. So sad news. I got an email from Stampin' Up. Well, all Stampin' Up demonstrators did. And their paper snips, whoever makes their paper snips is not making them anymore. So these paper snips, I'm just going to wedge my little paper snip right along the edge of that lemon and snip it off. That didn't work too bad, actually. That worked just fine. Anyway, the paper snips, the manufacturer stopped making these, so whatever they have in stock for paper snips, that's it. that's it. And then they will need to find something else to replace the paper snips. So I have two pairs. One's for ribbon and one is my snips for all things. But I'm tempted on my next order, if there are any paper snips left, I will probably get another pair because I really like them. But I'm sure that there are great alternatives at craft stores and stuff like that, right? All right, now, oh, I've got a whiskey glass, but I've also got a little orange slice. I think I'm going to put the orange slice down, and I'm going to put some of these glasses on the inside of the card. Yeah, I'm going for the orange slice. All right, oops, these are just little. So this is overlapping just a smidge, but I'm not worried about it. I'm going to leave it. Leon, they sold out already? Chris, maybe it wasn't an email. It might have been in a weekly update in the demonstrator page. I'll find it tomorrow. I could say I'll find it tonight, but I guarantee you I'm going to forget. So I will find it and I'll send it to you, but probably not tonight because I'll just forget. But Leanne says they sold out anyway, so that's the pits. I'm just going to have to take really good care of my existing paper snips. I'm just adding some glue to that piece of white for the inside. And again, this is 4 by 5 1/4. Now, if you caught my live on Monday, you might have noticed that I said the Lost Lagoon layer was 4 by 5 1/4, but it was not. It was actually 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I'm sorry about that. The measurements post that I posted earlier was correct. It was just my brain wasn't correct. The moral of the story is, friends, you really can't trust what I say. You just can't, because I don't know. I don't know if what I say is actually what I mean anymore. I hear it gets better, right? With menopause, perimenopause, and menopause. I hear like we just got to sort ourselves out and then everything goes back to normal. All right, Chris, I'm going to add that little whiskey glass right on the inside. In the right corner, which I tend to do, I like to put things in the right corner. I wonder if it's because I'm a right-handed person. If I was left-handed, maybe I would be the opposite. If you're left-handed, let me know. If you're left-handed, do you tend to put little embellishments and things like that on the left-hand side of your page? Okay. So I've got a couple little drinks on the inside. I don't need these two pieces. And that's really cute. All right, so the inside of the card got a little bit of embellishment there with the glasses, so it is not naked. The outside is looking like this. It's okay, it's pretty, but we can do better, right? We can do better. So I am going to grab some of my gold striped mesh ribbon. I think that's the name of it. And I'm just going to tie a little bow. And I do like this ribbon for tying bows. It does nice floofy loops, if floofy is a word. And that's what I like about it, because it ties nicely. The loops are nice and puffy or floofy, however you want to say it. I'm going to go for floof. Robin, you are a lefty, but you still put them on the right bottom. Well, then my theory is just that. It's an incorrect theory. It might be anyway. I have to ask a few more lefties, and then I will decide if my theory's on the money or if it's wrong. I'll ask my husband. He's a lefty. And my son seems to be a little bit, he's more right-handed, but he can use his left too, which I think is pretty cool. All right, now I'm going to stick this bow right in the top left corner. I'm just going to shorten these tails just a little bit. And then of course, I'm going to add a little drop of Tombow. I am not going to bother with my glue dots because I just don't trust them. And then I'm going to weight this down with the block and I'm going to let that sit there for about 5 minutes. And then that's going to give it enough time that it's going to set. All right, Diane, you love this card. You're waiting for the set to be in stock. Well, I've been watching too because I really needed more of the paper, and the paper's not back in stock until it's expected back July 21st, and I can't wait that long. So my friend Tanya, the Canadian stamper, she came to my rescue today. I stopped by her place after work and she hooked me up. She gave me the rest of her Celebratory Sips designer series paper, and I'm super happy about that because I have card kits to send out, friends, and I was short on some paper. So if well, you know who you are. If you ordered from me this week and took advantage of the two-tone cardstock sale, then you know you're getting these kits. And you can rest assured they're going to be out in the mail tomorrow because Tanya, the Canadian stamper, helped me out with some paper. Otherwise, I would have had to substitute, and I really don't want to do that. All right, Hillary, you're a lefty, but you vary your location by whim. Good to know. All right, so this card is done. I'm not going to move it yet because my bow is drying, but I'm going to show you the sample card that I did first, which is same, but different. It's just a slightly bit different with the glasses, the drinks that I cut out. But, oh, a whiskey glass made it on the inside too. So this is card number 2. And here is card number 1 from last Thursday. And this is a card that the Canadian stamper made, which, if you can see, there's a lot of resemblance there. I cased her card. Yeah, I did. I cased your card, buddy. Anyway, her beautifully tied ribbon is popping off, and it's being held down by a glue dot. So it's just reinforcing my theory on glue dots. They're not, I just don't trust them. But anyway, this is Tanya's card. It's slightly different because it opens, it's still an A2, but it opens as this way, which I think I refer to this as like the tent fold. So it's still the same, but different, right? So the tent fold is cut at 4¼ by 11, and it's scored and folded at 5½. And then I cased it, came up with this one, but I think that Tanya did a beautiful job, and the pinks are really fun, and especially the darker designer series paper behind it. So if you watched project number 1 last Thursday, the measurements are going to be very, very similar. The only thing that changed was probably just her banner, because she put a banner back there, and then I embossed the circle die cut, right? So very, very similar. So if you want to recreate what Tanya has done, then the measurements are going to be the same, and she's done a little bit of distressing on the corner edge of this card. She's so talented. That's my buddy. I'm going to miss her. She's going on a vacation, and I'm staying here. I'm staying here. All right, flipping the camera around. All right. So, oh, I forgot to tell you. Yes, I got an Amazon order. I ordered these loops. They're fancy little earplugs that come in their own case. They're just tiny little case, and it's Prime Days, so I got these for a good price. And they're kind of fancy. They're really pretty. And anyway, I bought these because work is driving me crazy with background noise. There's so much chatter and talking and visiting sometimes in the office, and it makes me super crabby because I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing, and it's hard for me to do. And I only like chatter if I'm the one chattering. That's how it turns out. I only like the chatter if it's me talking. Otherwise, I'm quite intolerant. So I picked up these loop buds. I was hoping, they came really quick actually, which surprised me. So I'm going to give them a try, and then I'm going to let you guys know how they turned out. So if you're noise sensitive like I am, I'll do a little review on my next live and let you know what I think about these, because I feel like they're going to be a game changer for work. And these ones actually are adjustable, And they're just like, there's nothing electronic in them. They're just little earbuds, but you can actually change how much noise you filter out. So this is going to make me way happier at work. All right. Yes, Carissa. Thanks for Tanya. She gave me all of her leftover paper because she's gone for 3 weeks. So I'm going to miss her. But I might steal her 9 o'clock live spots on Saturdays while she's gone. I mean, why wouldn't I, right? Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. I do hope you're enjoying the project so far. Here's 1, here's 2. Next week is project number 3, which is stepping up from this type of a design with the strips on the edges. So the next card is a little bit similar, as we're going to be doing that little edge work, but I'm taking it up a notch, and you're going to need a pencil and a ruler and your paper trimmer. Yeah, we're getting that fancy. So that's going to be next week, but Thursday is the virtual scrapbooking retreat. So I will be in the retreat during my normal 7 p.m. Time to go live. So I'm going to reschedule probably for the morning of Thursday. We'll see how that goes, but I'll let you guys know during the week when I have that nailed down. It's probably going to be Thursday morning because it won't be Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific because I'm going to be scrapbooking. And Monday, I'm going to have to switch around too because I promised my husband I would, just do some family stuff. Since I'm off work for the scrapbooking retreat, he would really like me to focus on family time now until the scrapbooking retreat starts. So Monday, I'm going to have to reschedule that live too. Maybe Saturday morning, since Tanya won't be around to do hers. That's probably what I'm going to do. So a little bit of changes this week, but I'll keep everybody posted on the page. Thanks for tuning in. Lorene, I'm glad you like the card making. You're going to be getting these kits too. If you're home tomorrow morning, I might be in Souk and I'll drop your kits off so you don't have to wait for them to come in the mail. Unless you want Happy Mail, then I'm happy to mail them to you too. It's up to you. I'll talk to you about it anyway. I'll send you a message tomorrow. All right. Thanks for tuning in. And if you are in Canada and you would like to get your hands on the card kits for this class, all you need to do is jump into my online store and place an order for a minimum of $50 before tax and shipping and any reward redemption. And then I get a little notification via email from Stamping Up that you placed an order in my store. I'll reach out to you, make sure that I've got the address you want card kits to come to. I whip up your card kits, and now that I got paper from Tanya, that's not going to slow me down. And then I pop them in the mail, and you get a little Happy Mail package. And then you can recreate these cards, but you do need your own stamps, ink, and adhesives because you'll get everything you need to put these cards together, but you're not going to have the stamps, right? All right, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see everybody Saturday when I steal Tanya's 9 a.m. live spot. Yeah, it's official. I said it, so it's going to happen. Saturday, 9 a.m. See you all soon. Oh, Janice, did I get glue dots from Amazon? No, I did not. All right, that's it. Goodbye. I will go through all the comments for those that I missed, and I will reply to anybody's that I didn't catch. Have a good night.